Good morning, everybody. We're gonna be visited early on by a friend. Today I was just going to go over some of the ARCs that I have, or ARCs that I have gotten lately, because I have somehow amassed quite a few today, or not today, but over the past week, month, whatever. I am bad at talking today. I apologize. I am really sleepy. It's still early, but I don't really know a whole lot about a lot of these. I just picked them up because they sounded good, or we already have the books out in the store and I wanted to read them, but I also didn't want to pay for them. And since they were just kind of sitting in the ARC display in our break room and nobody was taking them, I figured I would go ahead and take them. There are two not included in this. Don't remember the name of one of them. The other one was How to Walk Away. I gave both of those to my sister when she was home for Father's Day, so you won't be seeing those, but I did have those at some point. But the first one, I believe, is about a guy who is diagnosed with ALS and has to learn how to basically redo his life. He was a famous musician and he has to figure out how to cope with all of that, and this is Every Note Played by Lisa Genova. I really kind of like the whole famous musician idea. I love musicians and like reading about musicians and stories with musicians, so I'm really excited to read that one. That one is already out. I think it came out about a month or two ago, so if it sounds interesting to you, feel free to stop by your local Barnes & Noble or indie bookstore and pick it up. The next one I know just came out, I think last week or the week before, and that is The Mars Room by Rachel, I can't read that, Cashmere. I don't really know a whole lot about this one. I think it revolves around women in prison. When I picked it up, I thought it was going to be about actual Mars, and was kind of a bit let down when it wasn't, but it's supposed to be really, really good. I'm not a huge thriller or prison fan, or books about prison. So I don't know when I'm going to get to this one. I have to be in the right mood to read those sorts of books. And lately I just haven't been, but I'll hopefully get to it eventually. So, Mars Room. The next one I picked up the other day because I loved the cover on it, and that is America for Beginners by Leah Franque. It is about an Indian woman who ends up taking a road trip all around America with a bunch of strangers, and she's going to visit her son, and her son has undergone a couple of drastic life changes that don't necessarily fit with his entire extended family's lifestyle, and this book, one of the blurbs on the back is basically like, you'll love it, you'll probably cry, it's amazing, it's bittersweet, but it's also really heartfelt and warming, and it's definitely one you want to give to your xenophobic aunt come Thanksgiving. And I'm just like, I'm about that. So I'm really excited to read this one, and I really loved the cover. I loved the henna design with the road trip, and I was in the mood for a really good road trip book, so I will probably be reading this one sooner rather than later. It comes out next month, so if you like the sound of it, keep an eye out for it. I don't know the exact date it comes out, but it will be coming out soon. The next one just came out as well very recently. It's a beachy summertime read. It's called High Season by Judy Blundell. It's kind of similar in style to Big Little Lies, where it follows a rich woman who redoes her beach house, and then has to deal with all sorts of beach drama with everybody else she lives near. I don't usually go for books like these, but for whatever reason I have just been in a huge contemporary petty drama beachy type mood lately, with a little bit of romance contemporary stuff thrown in, so I'm super excited about this one. It is totally off base from what I normally read, and I am okay with this. Plus it's summertime, and you're supposed to read beachy summertime books in the summer, right? The next one has been out for a while. This is one that I saw on the shelves and was like, that actually sounds really, really interesting. It's actually about the area where I currently live. during the Civil War, and this is Verena by Charles Fraser. It's about a woman who I believe divorces her husband, or her husband dies during the Civil War. Something happens to her husband, and she has to go on a long journey through like Civil War-ridden Virginia and the North, and make a lot of really hard decisions, and like discover the truth about herself and her family. And it sounds really, really good. I don't really tend to read too many Civil War books. In fact, I don't remember the last time I actually read one. So I'm super psyched to dig into that. That and the edges, I don't know if you can tell, but they're like scalloped, and I love it when history type books do that because it makes it feel even more old-timey, and I'm just a sucker for that. The next one's kind of more in line of what I usually read. It's a high fantasy novel. I don't actually know too much about this one. Apparently the author, Raymond E. Feist, is supposed to be really, really good. And it's a huge book, so I was really excited. And it's called King of Ashes? Not King of the Ashes. King of Ashes. And it sounded really, really good when I was reading it. I obviously didn't sound good enough to stick into my mind, but hey, next time I go on a huge fantasy binge, which will probably be here shortly, I will definitely be picking this one up. This one is already out, actually. It came out in May 8th, but I have no idea what the actual cover looks like, 'cause sometimes with ARCs they don't put the actual cover on them. They reveal them later, so if you're interested in finding out more about that, feel free to look that up. The next one I actually got for my sister, and meant to read it before she got home, and then I just ran out of time and was reading other books such as I do. And it's called The Lost Vintage by Anne Ham. Basically, it's about a winery nowadays, and the wine owners discover a bottle that was bottled during World War II, and I think it's like talks about a lot of flashbacks between how like that bottle of wine came to be, and I thought that was such an interesting take on World War II. And while I've mentioned in the past that I don't necessarily love World War II books, I do occasionally read one or two, or like the 15 that I now have amassed on my bookshelf. I should probably just go through and do a World War II month, but I would be very, very, very sad for like the rest of my life if I did that, and there's enough sad things going on that I don't need that in my life. So the next one, it's a nonfiction book. It's called New Power, by Jeremy Hymans and Henry Timms. It's basically talking all about power in the social media world and how businesses and people can capitalize on that. I actually got this one more for my parents than for me, but I love reading about weird stuff like this. Just knowing more about social media, especially given how quickly it has grown, and like all sorts of the issues that go on with it, and like since I'm growing up and everything, and like this is part of my life now, I figured it might be a good idea to read some of this. I don't know if I will actually get around to reading this anytime soon, or if I will read it at all, to be honest, because sometimes I do collect books that I don't end up reading, and I feel bad about it. And sometimes with nonfiction books, you read the first chapter and then it just repeats itself over and over again, and I get really frustrated with that really quickly, because it's just like, you said this already, why are we restating it? And anyway, long story short, I don't know if I'm going to be reading this anytime soon. This one has been out since April, which shows you how often people actually shop our ARC section, like as far as employees and stuff go, because I basically get to have my pick of the mill. But yeah, we'll see. I might read it. It's really, really long, I think. Actually, it's under 300 pages, but it feels a lot bigger. I don't know why. But if it's something you're interested in, or you think your parents would be interested in, or whatever, it is on sale. It's a hardback book right now, and it's probably like $26 because that's like average price for a hardback book. Fun times. And then the last book is another World War II era book. This was actually one that I have had my eye on, and we've heard a lot about from customers and stuff, and they all say that it's really, really good. It's a romance book about World War II. So, like, automatically you're probably thinking, Rachel, what the hell, you never read romance and you don't like World War II books, and combined you probably want to, like, I don't know, go jump in a lake or something. But this one is called Love and Ruin by Paula McLean. It's about Ernest Hemingway's third wife, and she was a wartime reporter, and it, like, talks about how they fall in love and, like, all of their struggles as a couple and later as man and wife, and ultimately how their relationship ended. I don't know, okay, I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit for this, but Ernest Hemingway is not my favorite author, but I like reading fictionalized accounts of, like, famous people's lives. I don't know, I also like reading, like, actual accounts, but I've heard so many good things about this book, and it has been on our bestseller list for basically since it came out, back in the beginning of May, and I really liked the cover on it too, that I just decided to pick it up, give it a try. I have sort of started this. I think I read the first 2 chapters, then I was just like, oh my god, I need a fantasy book, and switched to reading something else. I don't even remember at this point. I read way too much. But I am actually really excited to read this one, and, like, actually dive into it. I just need a day off to, like, actually read it. So that may never come because I have a lot of stuff going on over the next couple weeks. Long story, but I am actually really excited to read this one. I will probably do a little bit of a review on it later, maybe. I'm actually branching out, as you can probably tell, and reading a lot more contemporary books, and trying out some romancy type books, because, I don't know, summertime, that's the time to read those types of books. I like to call them popcorn reads because they generally go really fast and there's very little substance to them, but they're fun while they last, kind of like actual popcorn. And I'm actually going to be picking up a lot more of them, so I might just do a little vlog after I've read a lot more of them, like maybe 4 or 5, and, like, talk about them and talk about what I liked about them and all that fun stuff, just to do something a little bit different than all of the, hey look, it's yet another fantasy book, yay dragons, or whatever. Mostly dragons are the best. So stay tuned on that. If you have any recommendations, I am always looking for books to read, and that is one genre that I know very little about, because my mood to read these types of books happens so very rarely. Like, this is the first time in a very long time where I'm just like, I just want to read all of the cute fluffy books, and I blame it all on the book When Katie Met Cassidy, which is an adorable story about a girl who was straight and then finds the love of her life, a woman named Cassidy, and it was adorable, and I think I talked about it in another video, and it was great, and you all should go read it. And yeah, anyway, long story short, that about does it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I always like rambling on about books. I don't know if anybody else appreciates me rambling on about books. But have no fear, there will be a horse vlog coming up probably on Friday, probably another one next Monday, because it's horse show time, sort of. I will explain more later. So I was gonna do a horse show prep one coming up on I was gonna film it Thursday, and then it'll be up on Friday. I was gonna do a review about the Illuminati files, which I absolutely fell in love with and want to talk so much more about. And there are a lot of other good things coming up, and yeah, I might do another running vlog soon, because I'm going to try to drag my sorry ass out of bed earlier and go running again. Hopefully I don't screw up my ankle again. We'll see. And there will be another travel vlog coming to this channel in July, so stay tuned. And I am not telling you guys where I'm going, because right now only a very small handful of people know where I'm going, and it's staying that way, so you guys will enjoy it. I don't know how much I'm actually going to vlog, but we'll see. I'm excited. So yeah, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, whatever floats your boat, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a lovely day.